Okay, so here we are we have some vegetables, fruits, and flowers, so a pretty diversified system. And what we're going to be doing today is adding some more irrigation line. Irrigation line like this one, it's often called tube irrigation or drip line. And it's got emitters every 6 inches, and these come in different capacities. You can get 12-inch, 4-inch, 6-inch, and basically it's pretty simple. The water source comes from here. It usually has an underground source that has a pressure reducer, which allows you to attach kind of like smaller tubing, little tributaries. And what we're doing today is adding enough so that the plants get adequate water. And you always want to take account of your climate and water needs in Santa Cruz. In the summertime, we lose about 1 inch of water a week, so you want to add 1 inch of water, which basically looks like you wet it until the soil is super saturated, and then in a few days you'll check it, make sure there's still enough. You'll check it, and if there's still a lot of moisture in there, you're usually good to go. What that looks like usually is putting your hand in the soil, holding it, and if it balls up, that's a pretty good sign. If it balls up and breaks apart, that's perfect moisture. So you'll do that every few days just to check it out. This on top, it looks, it's like, you want to make sure you always go down a little bit, because on top it's going to look really dry. See, when you press it, it doesn't hold together. That means that that's too dry. But underneath where the roots are is really what you're looking at. And this is pretty good moisture, but we just want to add a few more lines in here to make sure that these plants are getting their needs met. All right, I'm gonna rifle through these a little bit. These look a little bit sad. Maybe they're not getting quite enough water, and there's some gopher activity. So that's a probably bigger reason why these look sad. But
how can you tell there's gopher activity?
That's another episode. Basically, I reached right down and my hand sunk into a gopher into a gopher tunnel. So I'm gonna have to do some treatment there.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Anyway, okay, so we've got these lines here, these little noodles, and I'm going to add some lines. So let's see what that looks like. Have some equipment that I should have probably looked at earlier. Yes, here we go. These are cool. Here we have a little, it's kind of like an on-off switch. So when it's facing your line, it's on, and then when it's perpendicular, it's off. So we're gonna add in some more of these. And what we're gonna do is then each one will have a couple lines. Because these are so thin, they don't deliver as much water, so you wanna put in a few of these. And the way you put these in, basically these all fit in, it's kind of a barb. So you fit in, kind of have to apply quite a bit of pressure at first, but then once it's in, it's not going anywhere. And then this you attach also into, you can't attach this right directly to the to your source point, so you have to cut these noodles add one here, and then you get a coupler, which these have kind of a sharp end, so they go in really easily, and then you have to attach them at the source. Again, you gotta force these Barbies. I'm gonna put it in the middle. Yes. Yeah. Actually, maybe what I can do, I'll put it in close to this source so I'll have to. So this already has a section. You make one tiny hole safely. And you can usually mark a little X. It gives you a space for these. And again, apply pressure until it's in there. And then you have a new line. And take your tubing. Sometimes you have to cut. These emitters won't allow you to insert too closely to the emitter, so we'll see if that's close enough. It might be. Yes. Alrighty. So now you've got new tube. Tube on YouTube, and then you have to close your end. So I'm skipping ahead. So then you kind of pull it as far down as you're going to take it. I'm going to take mine to be the same length as the other line. Cut it here. And then we're going to add something called a goof plug, which is basically when you make a goof, you add a goof plug, but also you can add them to the end of your line. It's exactly what it is. It's a plug. So push that in here. This allows you to end here. And then what you'll do is make sure it lines up to where the roots are of your plant. So you want each plant to ideally have an emitter close to where its root zone is. And when they do their job correctly, it will water the whole base of the plant. But having them as close as possible is your best bet to get them watered as quickly as possible. So yeah, this is a great way to be water wise, because you're not wasting any water. It goes directly to the root system, and you can customize it very simply and add in as many lines as you need to meet the plant's needs.